Alright, we're back at it here on the Mattracks, and we're going to start working the linkage pieces that accommodate the main castings. And that's where the other 32 bushings are going to come into play, because each one of these gets 4, and there's 8 pieces that we're going to be setting up here. Now, of course, in the original video I actually showed you these links. Alright, besides the 2 faces and the holes, they're rough castings all over. Now I want to be able to set these up in the Bridgeport, and that's where we're going to do the holes in this setup here. And I need to be able to locate these into the vise. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create one machine surface that will accommodate the other 2 machine surfaces that we have, this face and this face here, and then that will locate the part horizontal and vertical. So what I'm going to do is I've got 2 pieces of 5/8 round, and these holes here are worn a little bit, but they're not extremely worn. And some of them still have some grease, and they're kind of tight in here, and that's the way I'm going to leave them for this operation here. And I'm just going to wipe off some grease here. Now we're going to use the pins like parallels on the top of the vise, and we're going to put these down into the vise here just like that. And we're going to tap until we're firm, a little snug. Alright, now this is how we're going to locate each one of them. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop our drill chuck out, and I believe we're going to go ahead and we're going to run this 2-inch index head here, just because we can spin it up, and we're going to come come across and just create a flat there that we'll be able to space that against our back jaw, so that these 2 lobes or hubs on the pin diameters are going to be out from the face of the chuck, and will be locating against the bottom edge or the edge of the faces on each side, both directions, to create our face cut. Because we got to bring these both, we got to narrow these up so that we compensate for that flange sticking out here on each side, and that will be a complete new face that these will be able to mount on. Alright, let's go ahead and change out our chuck now, and we take the drawbar, we loosen it up here, and it just happens to be loose. I didn't have it in there that tight, and we're going to use the 3/4 inch collet to run our little 2-inch shell mill. So we slip that in there. We get this up to where it's held here. We have a brake here, we hold that, and then we tighten up our drawbar. And that's all there is to inserting the next tool here. Alright, we want to raise the table up. And we'll tighten up the knee. Now the reason why we raise up our table here is so that the quill and the spindle isn't hanging way out of the machine. Your machine becomes stouter if you keep it up short and don't extend it out so much. And anyhow, I'm going to come over here and let's see what we got. Okay, we're running on the low end. Switch the speeds here. We drop the gear down, and then we have to switch the side lever over here to the opposite direction. That takes us from high to low range. So we're at the bottom of high range, or the fast or the speed side of the gear train here. The other way was like in the back gear. Alright, that's 660 RPMs, and that's kind of what we're going to be spinning this. Now we can bring this down close to it. I like to engage my manual feed here. This is auto feed, but when you have your gearbox shifted in the out position and you engage it, you can actually use this by hand with the hand wheel. It's kind of handy, so you can really bring it down and just barely touch. Now this casting is slightly crowned this way here, and I'm kind of unsure this way here, but I'm just coming down until I lightly touch. All we want is a square surface. We're not trying to really remove any great amount of material. All right, we can lock our spindle. We want to take a look at actually what we have for contact area there. You can see that we're low in here and we actually are making contact out there. That's like about 20,000 probably out there. Alright, all we want to do is create a nice flat in here, and we're going to make them kind of uniform. We're just going to come out to where it blends into the radius on both sides here. Alright, we're going to set this at 0. This is a travel dial mounted up on the spindle. It's a real nice feature. I like it. The digital readouts and stuff like that are the same thing. This is just an older style travel dial setup for the Bridgeport, and it's kind of unique in its own way. And all right, loosen this up, and we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to dial in. I'm going to say 15,000 right now. Okay, that's all I'm looking for, is a nice flat surface like that so that I can locate that against the jaw with some kind of a parallel in here. We're going to work that out afterwards, but at least now I know that this surface here is square to these surfaces here. Now I'm going to do that through each and every one of these, and then we're going to get into the next setup there. Alright, and we're going to touch off on a couple of these to find out. I mean, we're going to cautiously come down and touch off on each one of them until I know that they're that close, but who knows, this casting may be varying up and down, but I want to leave all the meat, and I'm going to try to leave a witness mark on there just like that. A witness mark is a good practice to make. You don't have to have it 100% clean all the time. This surface is not even, this surface is only relative to our setup here. After that, it has no bearing. This surface out here, we can just feather that a little bit with a little Scotch-Brite there and kind of blend that in. And so it's not, it serves no other purpose but to locate our setup. Just for curiosity, we are -5 from where we were on the other cut there. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to crank in that 15 that we took before. Okay, cleaned up over here, but it's a little bit light over here. We're going to go ahead and take another 5. Okay, little tiny witness mark is over here and a little bit over here, but right across that center I'm square. Alright, so I'm going to buy that one. Okay, that was +7 there. We'll put in our 15. Alright, little tiny witness there, a little tiny witness there. Alright, so you get the point on what we're doing. We're going to go ahead and go through the rest of these, and we'll bring you in when we set up our next setup here. Alright, we come over here to our lapping paper here, which is about ready to get changed, and it's usually, you know, it's dirty and everything else. All we're going to do is kiss off these surfaces right here, because we're going to be putting them against parallels for this next setup here. And we just want to make sure, see there's a high spot there, this looks pretty good over here. Most of that surface area on both sides of there is fine. So we're going to go ahead and just hit this a little bit. There we go, we knocked that right off of there, and it's almost full contact. So they all measured within a couple thousandths of the same width. I mean, that doesn't take too much. Some of the, you got to figure that this is wear, so we just want to see the overall percentage that we are making contact, so that when we put this down, it's level this way. Okay, I'm coming in here. I'm just going to wipe down my jaws here because I got a little bit of setup to get ready for here, and I need to have them, at least the oil kind of swept off of there. Alright, our first setup is going to go ahead and we're going to take 1/8 of an inch off of each side of our faces here. To get this down to the width we're going to want, and then we're going to set it up and we're going to drill and ream each of these holes. Alright, we're going to want to put this in here, and we need to set up a support so that we're off of there. So I went ahead and I cut a piece of aluminum stock, and this is just a piece of 1/2 inch, 2-inch width, and we're going to set it up there. Now we're going to be putting in a lot of these, and we're going to be coming with our cuts, and there's going to be a lot of chips and stuff like that. We want to be able to lift this out and put this back in and everything else. And do we want to mess around with that piece coming in and out and setting that up each time we go? Not really. So what we have is, this is regular duct seal. It wasn't a big giant log like this, and it comes wrapped in like wax paper type of thing. Duct seal caulking. In the shipyards we call it monkey shit. And anyway, I'd taken a couple little pieces of this and kind of massaged it a little bit to where it starts getting a little moist and flexible, and it works a little bit nicer when it's warm. And I'm just creating a little wand of it here, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to apply it right back here. And we're going to go ahead and take our part. That's where we're going to set it up in here. We're going to use the bottom of the vise right here to locate our faces here, so that there is no parallels going to be used inside there. Now I need to have a pusher here, and I've taken my veneers and I've checked this width right here, and every single one of these that we've already skimmed on here I have within a couple thousandths here. So I can get by with just using a flat block to push against here, because this jaw will compensate for a couple thousandths of side angle movement there in it. Alright, they all do. Now I want to hold that up, you know, in the right plane to push on the center of here, so I figured out the 3/4 inch tool bit right here. Actually, let me wipe that off. Okay. 3/4 inch tool bit underneath there is just going to kind of hold this block up here in the right spot. Alright, now I'm going to want to go bring this in and out as well, so I'm going to go ahead and take another piece of my monkey shit here and put this against this back here, and then we're going to do a pre-tension, and all this is doing is just setting up those two. Make sure we're even. Okay, we just kind of, we always want, there's no set for side to side at this time, just down and against there, and then we'll be ready to cut. So what I'm doing is, all I'm doing is bringing this in and pre-squeezing my monkey shit, and you can see it coming out because I want to eliminate all the material in there, and it's like super Denture cream, so that, and you can remove the stick up there, add it back to the ball of monkey shit you keep around the shop. And you want to go ahead and tap these down, and you can see the longer you leave your pressure on it, more it squeezes out. You want to eliminate all of it because you don't want the I mean, you want to squeeze all the effort that you're going to have in there so that your part doesn't become loose. And it takes a little while to squeeze it all out. Alright, now you can make a test run, and you open it up, it pulls it back. This is held in there, this is held in there. You know, I've got the 3/4 support underneath, and this slides over the top of that 3/4. So you'll be able to lift your part out, put your part back in, tighten it up, go, machine it, blow, because air's not gonna move those parts around. You'll be able to pick up another piece, put that in, tighten it up. Alright. Alright, here we go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this down. We're going to lightly touch here. We're going to go over and we're just going to see how it skims over here, or how it looks over there. And they should be right on the money here within a couple thousandths. We took our calipers, and we went over each one of those, and they were like real close. So it's not like we were expecting a big difference here or anything. We just kind of want to double check on our setup and make sure that everything is kosher. And we're only taking, as soon as we touch, we're going to set 0, but we're only taking a 1/8 of an inch off of each face. So we're going to take an 1/8 off of all the faces, and we're going to flip them over in the jig, and we're going to take it off the other side. Here's our plan. We had to brake on and do a little bit of play in our head there, kind of. We want to make sure we really ease into it. Okay, right there. Okay, we set 0. Okay, it touches almost all the way, a little hollow over here, but this is, you know, these are linkage, and each one of these work individually, so that could be a low. So now we're going to go ahead and we'll buzz over to this other side here. Alright, now we're going to come in. And it casts a shadow over there. Okay, I'm happy. I'm going to be calling that. I'm going to figure that is probably 1/1000th of cut already. So that's how I'm going to set the dial that I'm already 1/1000th into the cut. It had to take something to remove that material off of there. It could have been a couple thousandths anyway. Or touch is usually 4 or 5, depending on how you touch off in the face of the lathe. Alright, I'm just going to come back over here and get around in front of here. The reason why I'm doing this is because just like a fly cutter, coming around the sweep, where you come off of the part is where the chip is going to fly. So by coming around here, instead of coming in here and shooting the chips over this way here, I want to come in on here and I want to shoot them off the end over here. So most of this area will stay clean if I come in and cut this direction here. Alright, and kind of like just halfway in the middle, I can pretty much lock that down now. So I'm just going to be cutting across here, and then speed over here, cut across here. I'll be setting my my feed rate as I go here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the 100,000s here. We're trammed in pretty close. It's slightly back skipping over here, but it's not taking a whole bunch. All right, continue on here with this side. Alright, we're coming back here. We're going to go ahead and take our air. We're going to blow this off. We want to lift this off, and we're going to check that overall width to verify the amount we're taking. And because we want it to be equal as much as possible off of each side to get our overall width for the finished part. So we're kind of using this first one as a test of thickness. Alright, so pull this out. A little bit of chips down there in the bottom, so we can go ahead and we can hit our there. Alright, so our original ones were 2,350 to, I had that one's 45, 2,345, 45. There's 50, 50, 51. Okay, so right around 2,350. So we want like 2,225 is what we're shooting for, and we got 2 inches 245. 2 inches 247. About the same. There's probably a little bit of wear difference on this side here. So anyway, we got 20 thousandths basically to go to get it down to where we want. And that's what we dialed in 100 thousandths, and we touched off on knowing, like I said, 2, 3. It was pretty close to 5 by our measurements right here now. So we're going to go ahead and take our extra, or continue taking the remainder here. And we dial in another 20, and then we're going to set 0 there, because that's the repeat finish cut that we're going to want to make on these. Now, just in case, I'm going to slap that down a little bit. Alright, here we go. see what we got now. Okay, 2 inches 225. That's what we wanted. 224 and a half. It's in that realm. You know, we're still virgin surfaces over here that you know, aren't machined. But we're right there in that setting. I'm happy with that for the first side. So we're going to go ahead and set up each and every one of these and take them down to this thickness right here. All right, and next one goes in. And we go ahead and we back up 25 thousandths here. And our setup is repeating. Very good. Alright, we're going to run these through and we'll catch you up on our flip-flop side there.